We're recording now.
Okay. Welcome everybody to Fellowship of Spirit on November the 12th of 2023. Ron is at home. For all that need to know, he had a little bit of an accident the other day and fell. He did not break anything, but he can't walk right now because it's very sore. So we send our blessings and prayers for you for speedy healing. Get better soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
We have 5 of us in sanctuary and 2 people on the Zoom. So we're a little bit small today, but we've got 6 kids in the kids' room. So they're busy with doing things. And we're outnumbered by children. So that's not a bad thing. We have a general announcement of Margaret will be speaking about her experience with trees at the Alchemist and the Magpie in Aztec on South Mains Avenue at 6 p.m. on Friday, November 17th. And everybody is welcome. It is free. And if you've ever heard Margaret speak, she's a wonderful talker. Talker. A little bit of everything, but anyway, her talks on the trees is wonderful. So if you can get to that, please do it. It's wonderful. Call me or Margaret if you need any more information on it.
There's some little announcements out on the table or on the desk out there.
Okay.
If you want to take one.
And there are announcements out on the table if you want to take one with you. Okay, we have our prelude played by Margaret Cheeseborough, Open Our Eyes, Lord, by Bob Cole. Thank you, Margaret. That was beautiful. Okay, Susan, would you like to give us our opening prayer?
Okay, so if we close our eyes, take a deep breath, and allow that energy to flow in through the crown chakra, flowing throughout our whole body, filling our body with the light which we really are. Mother, Father, God, Creator of all, we give thanks for this wonderful, beautiful day. We give thanks for all of the blessings that have come our way. We give thanks for our ability, of our body's ability to heal. We give thanks for the mind that we have to question, to ask, and to follow your directions. We give thanks this day for the love that we feel and that we have surrounding us, for the youth of our children that are in our fellowship. We give thanks for our abilities to see only the positive and to allow that which does not look positive to realize that that is an open door for us to see better and better and clearer and to walk with you as always. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you, Susan. And Margaret has a song from All That Dwells with Below the Skies, number 5 in your book.
Yeah, Steve and Kate were gonna be here to sing, but I don't know what happened. So this is a song that's maybe familiar to a lot of you.
Thank you, Margaret. If you will say along with me our reflective moment. Love produces a flow of energy that I now feel. I love others more than ever, and I feel privileged to be here. Love flows from one person to another as we create an atmosphere of holiness, and so it is. I forgot to read this. Spiritual reading, which is supposed to be Steve, and he's not here, or Carol, are you? No, you're not in this Sunday. Okay, that would be Steve, and he's not here, so just a minute, I'll get a book. I can do a spiritual reading at the drop of a hat.
What book do you want? Love Is All?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Thank you.
That fascinates me how you can do that so quick.
Okay. The Nightly Book of Positive Quotations. How about friendship is an art? Friendship is an art, and very few persons are born with a natural gift for it. Some people really are naturals at being good friends. For most of us, it's a learned skill. As with any other art, we may have some talent, but we have to learn the basics first. We are not born knowing it's good to make regular phone calls just to check up on a friend, send a care package, or host a dinner. We often don't know what to say when a friend is going through a hard time, or understand that sometimes nothing at all needs to be said. A hug is good enough. With time and a willingness to ask our friends what they need, we learn and begin to practice real friendship. I am learning how to be a good friend. I am willing to take a lesson from my friends to share my needs with them and ask about theirs. I'll practice the art of friendship every day. That's a beautiful thought, and we all need to work on it. We get caught up in our own lives. It happens. Okay, we have a song, Free at Last, in the binder, and we have our singers here.
Just in the nick of time.
Well, you missed the first one, but that's okay.
Darn it.
Okay, we are ready to sing from the binder, Free at Last. This is a song written by Jane Voss, very powerful song. So just notice the words, they're really something.
Yeah,
So I'll play an intro and then we will sing.
No. Free at last.
Okay.
we now have our beautiful friend from Belize, Dr. Susan Barnes. And I forgot the title and I didn't give it to Margaret in time to get it in the bulletin. So remind me the mundane, the
mundane, the sacred, the profane. Oh my.
the mundane, the
Okay.
sacred, the profane, and oh my. So enlighten us, my friend.
Well, really, I was going to talk about sex, drugs, and rock and roll. I don't know if anybody's interested.
Well, yeah.
It's a different title. Actually, we're just going to talk about sex and drugs and religion. But in reference to the mundane, the sacred, and the profane.
Click
So-
on her.
What did you say?
Need to get you on the screen.
She's on the screen.
Ah,
She's on the screen.
Okay.
okay.
Quit micromanaging, Ron. We're fine.
It's not your screen, Ron. Just not
Well,
your
I've not done it from this position before, so
I'm supposed
I
to
didn't
be
know.
here.
I had to change mine to make it work. I guess.
Well, yeah, we're all learning, that's for sure. And I would have to say that being down here in Belize, there are so many things that I've had to learn. So I want to really define the terms first. Okay, so what's mundane? And that's just things that it's commonplace. Whatever is mundane is commonplace. And of course, what's sacred is that's which is holy and it's of the god or gods, however you want to look at it. And the profane is anything that's secular and defiled. However, you know, we have to realize that there's a difference in these terms when we speak of different places, like what's mundane in North America is, or what's profane in America may be mundane somewhere else, such as, you know, Asia or Polynesia. And then what about the times? We're talking about now, but things that were commonplace 1,000 years ago or 3,000 years ago, or even in a different place, you know, it's just not, it has different meanings in different times. And then of course there's the different cultures, whether we're dealing with a Christian culture, with Islamic culture, Hindu culture, you know, those are, each one of them has the different meanings for each one of these words. So each one is determined by where we're standing at the time. And we need to know who is dictating the social standards, who's really ruling, and who educates. And oftentimes, that's the government and the church. So the thing that we want to do is look, first of all, sex. I mean, that's, yeah, sex. Okay, so sexual activity. And it's commonplace when we're talking about a married couple from a Western Christian point of view. Now, in the Mideast, it's common for a man to have several wives and a couple of concubines, you know, that's mundane, that's what's common. Now, there's a place in Malaysia where a man has 39 wives and 129 children. And you go, whoa, I mean, he actually built a village around it. He built a 4-story house and houses all of them. And each one of his wonderful 39 wives gets to take place up in his house for 1 week, once a year. Now in Polynesia, this is before they took on a lot of the Western culture, they actually encouraged sexual activity before they were married. And they never had children that were born out of wedlock. But when a man and a woman decided to make a more formal relationship and tell everybody, okay, yeah, we're a couple now, you would have the marriage ceremony. And then the bride took each one of the bachelor men to her bed before she ever got to sleep with her husband. Now, this way, when a child was born, no one knew who the father really was. And so the whole village took care of all the children. So all of these are ways that we wouldn't necessarily accept here in our culture. However, it is considered commonplace or mundane in other places and other times. But there's a sacred side to sex. And there was a time in the past when the young men went to the temple and they were educated by what they then called Vestal virgins on what is and how the fine art of lovemaking. And there are times I wish that we had something like that. But virgins do not mean the same thing as what we call a virgin. But this was a very sacred thing. Okay, the other thing is that when we realize that sex can also be considered sacred, when it's through the sexual act that we can actually heal and be healed, which is something that most people are unaware of, but it releases a lot of hormones and endorphins that help us to regain our health and well-being. So let's go to the Gnostic Bible, and sex is only considered sacred when it is for procreation. So the Gnostic belief is that sex within marriage should not be an expression of a desire, but rather that it's actually kind of against desire. Because from their point of view, a man should not waste his sperm because it's the divine spark. And therefore, it should only be used for procreation. So in that sense, the sex act is considered a sacrament. Now, in ancient history, there was Sophia, and Sophia is like the mother of all. And she was also known as the wild one in erotic Christianity. This mystery of Sophia was sang about and put forth by the medieval troubadours. And they were teaching the mystical meaning of spiritual sexuality. Now, ultimately, what happened is that a lot of people seemed to pick up on that, and that led to a lot of the free love of the 1960s. And what it did is it helped to take the guilt out of the act of sex and take it to a higher spiritual level. Now, in the Bible, we have a wonderful book. It's called the Song of Solomon. And it's actually a poem between Solomon and his chief wife, Tiye, T-I-Y-E. And so the 9 verses actually describe the beauty and the love of this woman and this man for each other. And it speaks about the pleasure and the desire for this intimate relationship. And in here, we need to know that it speaks of Tiye as his spouse, but also as his sister. And that was the way things worked back then, because of Pharaoh, who was the son of the late Pharaoh, okay, could only sit on the throne if he married the first female child from the chief wife. So Solomon's chief wife, Tiye, was also his half-sister. Again, we would not consider that proper at this time, However, it was considered sacred at that time. Okay, so now let's go to sex in a profane way. So that's what? A house of ill repute. Okay, so in Islam, if a woman's caught with a man other than her husband, she's killed as an adulteress. In the Christian Bible, the Ten Commandments say it's a sin to commit adultery, having sex with outside of marriage. And Hebrews 14:4 says, let the marriage bed be undefiled, for God will judge the sexually immoral and adulterous. It was interesting reading that about that, because there were like 59 verses in the Bible that kind of relate to sex. And there's none that really discuss the sanctity or sacredness of a sexual relationship. It was more in how to defile it and the adulterous things. The profane. So that's how we would see the mundane, the sacred, and the profane with the sex. Now, drugs, okay. I took specifically one, that's cannabis. You may know it as marijuana, because it actually can be quite sacred. But for the past, I don't know, 5,000 years or so, it was commonplace for a healer, a doctor, to prescribe cannabis because it has so many healing properties. So it was really one of the most used and beneficial of all the herbs. Not only was it used for medicine, when it's called hemp, it was used for paper, it was used for clothing, it was used, made terribly strong ropes. The forefathers of the US, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson, they grew it. That was one of their major crops on their plantations. And there are several references in Greek mythology to this powerful drug that helps to eliminate anguish and sorrow. But cannabis really could be used as a sacrament, a sacredness. So as a sacrament, this predates all of written history, and it's almost in all of the ancient religions, and even the current ones, including Buddhism, Shintoism, Sufism, and even Christianity, and among the Bantu, the Pygmy, the Zulu, and the Hottentots in Africa. It's been used by shamans forever and all pagan cultures to really send them into a deeply religious and philosophical state of mind, to help them in their quest to create better society, to achieve a form of enlightenment, and to unravel unknown facts and realms of the human mind and the subconscious. Okay, then came the 1930s. And then all of a sudden, it's not cannabis, it's marijuana. And it was considered an illegal drug. And to use this miraculous herb would result in jail time. The users might be looked down on our Western culture. It could have been considered an aphrodisiac, used during satanic rituals or orgies. It was said to limit fertility, of which, when they would look back on it, that's totally false statement, and to make the user high and dangerous. I can think of a lot more dangerous things than that. So which is it? Mundane as common medicine, sacred in communicating with our higher self, our God? Or is it a danger to our physical and mental health? So where are you as a person coming from? And whose shoes are you seeing each one of these things from? We judge things from where we are standing at the time. When I was younger, I believed that what the media and the politicians told me, that to use this weed was profanity to the human body. It was not until I began reading and learning the history of cannabis that I saw with my own eyes how it was affecting others in a very positive, healthy way. And upon further study, I came to know this herb, which was given to us by our Creator. And this is one way to heal and also to communicate with our higher selves, with the Creator, with the God within us. And talking about the God within us, we come to the third part, religion. Now, at this time in history, 32% of the world is Christian, and 26% are Muslim. 15% are Hindu. Only 7% are Buddhist. And this was really amazing to me. Only 0.2% are actually Jewish. We have other affiliations, which was 6.2%, and those who were unaffiliated, atheists, whatever, was a whopping 10.6%. Now, the thing is that almost all of these believe that they're the chosen people of God. In the ancient past, we had many gods. And some of these gods may even have been extraterrestrials. That's a whole nother story. So religion is a belief in and the worship of a god or gods. And it's a specific system of beliefs. And the worship, it's often involving a code of ethics. And often with pages and pages of dogma. The Course will tell you that formal religion really has no place in religion. And the attempt to formalize religion is so obviously an ego attempt to reconcile the irreconcilable that it hardly requires elaboration. And at least that's the point of view from the Course in Miracles. For me, it seems like religion's a way to control the population. And there are some forms of religion that don't even have anything to do with God. And then there are the religions that help us to see just what is really so. So if religion often has nothing to do with God and it's a control of the population by appealing to the ego, how then can religion really be sacred? And from the Course, we learn it's in the still infinity of endless peace that surrounds us gently in its soft embrace, so strong and quiet, tranquil in the might of its Creator. And therefore, nothing can intrude upon the sacred Son of God within each one of us. And this is because this sacred Son of God is ourselves. And we are the mirror of our Father's love. We are the soft reminder of our Father's love by which we are created and which still abides in us. And how can you know that? Just as we started out, in the still infinity of endless peace. And when you are at peace, you know that you're listening to your higher self, to your Creator. It's our Father's will that we complete Him, and that our higher self is truly His sacred Son. And we are forever pure as God. We are of love created, and we are in love preserved. We extend love, and we create in love's name. We are forever one with God and one with our higher self. And yet, this thing that we call religion, that leads us like sheep that this is the most effective way of maintaining invisibility for those who are controlling us. And its real purpose is to divide the masses. Because when we divide and conquer, and this has been used for all of history, because why? Because it works. Divide and conquer, especially with any organized religion, which is ruled by dogma rather than with that very personal relationship with the God within us. Dogma is a belief doctrine dictated by a church. And usually if you're born into a dogmatic family, then you are raised to believe this dogma. And as a result, you'll see all conflicting religions or all conflicting religious dogmas as evil. And you will be divided and you will be conquered. The main religions use divide and conquer. And the three religions that are most, how would you say it, that use this the most are the ones from Abraham, the Jews, the Christians, the Muslims. So Judaic dogma teaches that the Jew, that they're a member of the chosen race, destined to rule over everyone else as a teacher of God's law. Now, Islamic dogma teaches that all of mankind must somehow submit to Islam. If not, you're an infidel, and they're doing you a favor by killing you. And while there's reportedly 40,000 different denominations of Christianity, most Christian dogma teaches that Christians will only live in paradise for eternity, while everyone else burns in hell. And I mean, I know people from many different religions, and each one of them thinks that it's only those people who are in their particular belief system, whether it be Mormon or Seventh-day Adventist, Jehovah's Witness, probably even Catholicism, although I don't know so much about that. Now, there are many people raised in these religions that have been able to personally connect with God and liberate themselves from this divisive dogma. But so many others are stuck in group mind think, and they associate Holy Scripture and a priest class with God and put their faith in a doctrine written by a man. And it's become the ultimate form of mind control. And so whoever controls the Holy Land controls the world. In Revelation 2:9 of the King James Bible, it warns of the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and really are not. But they are of the synagogue of what they call Satan. And we see this in some of the people who say they're Jews, but not necessarily so. So we're talking about the creation of the state of Israel in 1948 would never have been successful if it were not for the Jewish Holocaust. And even though the Palestinians had nothing to do with it, the Holocaust was effectively used as an emotional excuse for what would otherwise be an illegal land grab. And while few deny that Hitler was murdering Jews, there have been some that have pointed out 6 million would have been logistically impossible. So why the number 6 million? And it's for several decades preceding World War II, there were those who repeated the mantra 6 million, referring, of course, to the death of 6 million Jews. And a 6 followed by 6 zeros can be read as 66, which can be read as 2/3. And there are certain radical sects of both Judaism and Christianity that believe that 2/3 of the Jews must perish. And it appears that Israel was created as a sacrificial altar to make this very thing happen, and to repeat the lesser magic mantra of what they want to make manifest. So today we're seeing Christian pastors cheer for mass murder, and there are pastors saying that Israel should make the Gaza Strip a parking lot, and there are evangelical pastors who speak as if Christ will only return if we provide him the blood sacrifice taught in their extreme dogmas. So extremists of all three religions are being used by the hidden hand, who's ever behind all that, to foment war and to make preparations for a one world religion solution. So divided, we become religion in a profane manner, and we will be conquered that way. But united, to see each and every person as a divine child of God, to be able to understand, to offer compassion, to see the oneness of all, then that's when religion becomes sacred. And then we can learn to live as one in peace. And God help us all. Namaste.
Thank you, Susan. That was profound. I touched on a lot of things, but I love the connection, the personal relationship with our own inner God. You know, and that's really all we have to look for. And it really is. You can have an opinion about everything else, but your own personal belief inside of you is what we all look for. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say to Susan?
No.
Marion's coming.
Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, my sweet Marion.
This was a most enlightening talk. And what I want to share with you, I don't know if you saw it or anyone else did, but on CNN about a month ago, Dr. Sanjay Gupta gave a talk about an hour's talk about a study titled Cannabis for Seniors. And they're doing studies on that now. And I intend to look into that eventually. I do have a lot of, if I sit still, I'm fine. If I try to do much, I can't go very far with it because of back pain. And the seniors that they interviewed, who were on this, in this study, had instant relief from pain in cannabis. Now, this was medical cannabis, which is what I would look into first. But I intend to look into it eventually. I have one more thing to try, and that's topicals, creams and patches and things like that. I want to try everything else first. But the medical cannabis had little, and I can't remember if it was much less or if they have been able to take all of the THC out of it, which causes the mental changes that you have. But I intend to look at it. They're using cannabis in children that have chronic seizures, and if I had a child with that condition, believe me, I would move heaven and earth to get the cannabis with it. So it's an old friend actually that's been with us. It's up to us how we use it. I think we have to condemn to that too. It's a danger to become addicted to it. You have to watch that. I think I could. In fact, I'm sure I could, because I know the dangers of addiction. I've seen it in my work. And so I just wanted to pass that on because I think it's worthy of consideration in a lot of people who are in, or all of these people, as far as I know, that are in this study, have been incredibly grateful for the change it's made in their lives without, this lady said, I don't want to get high. I don't want that. I wouldn't like it. But she did need the relief from the pain, and that's exactly what happened. There was no mental changes with it. So I just thought I'd pass that on, that maybe we shouldn't be closed to it, but just open to see what it can do and what it's like, because I think the medical opinion is that there are going to be many more uses for marijuana as time goes on in helping people. So thank you, Susan. That was a confirmation of everything that I had been thinking since I heard that program.
Thank you, Marion.
Thank you, Mary.
Sanjay Gupta is a very interesting doctor.
Yes.
Read a lot of his stuff.
Uh-huh.
Here comes Steve.
Hi, Susan. Thank you for your talk. Lovely in two different ways. First of all, you espousing the herbs that our God put here for our healing. And then on the contrary, what religions are doing in an ungodly name to divide us and create anything, especially war. And any call to war is ungodly. It is the opposite of the healing that we're surrounded with all of our spirit and all of our abilities. It is anti-ability. Thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Thank you.
And thank you, Steve. I want to thank you for singing. And also when you were singing today, it reminded me we were at karaoke last night and I said, oh, I wish Steve had been there.
Thank you.
Well, he's getting better every day,
Sometimes, yeah.
every time. Right after this song, Rhonda, we'll do the collection and then they come in, okay? Okay, Margaret, has anybody else have anything to say?
Just send Maria.
Okay, anybody else have anything they'd like to say to Susan today?
308.
Okay, we have a song, Bringing in the Sheaves, number 308. This is a very old Christian song. Yay, thank you. Steve, would you grab the light, please. This is our celebration of abundance. If you will repeat with me from this thing, from the brochure. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Through infinity, I am prosperous.
Bree, would you let them know they can come in now?
Kids.
Thank you. Kaylin, how you doing? Who's doing the talking? Okay. Hold this up to your mouth and hold this in your pocket. Morning, Fred. Okay,
Okay,
and this is our children.
Mike, mother?
She's got it.
Oh, who has it? Evie has it. This to me. Steffi, get right here. Then the three of you right there.
I got everybody in it.
Okay, the rest of my girls and boys go that way a little bit. That way she gets you all in. Scooch in. Scooch in. Okay, we're going to start with, Kaylin. We're gonna talk about what we did today. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Jaden. You're talking about what we did today.
So what we did today was we got cups, we painted them, and we're gonna plant plants in them.
All right. Nice. Kaylin, what are we doing the rest of the month?
Decorating our Christmas tree and making our Christmas ornaments.
Okay. We have a couple of new girls. Say your name, sweetheart.
My name's Mia. I'm Mia. My name's Dan. My name is Laylee.
Lily. Okay, and then my three girls over there are doing a reading.
Read.
Hold the little thing up to your mouth, up towards your face.
I think they'll be okay.
Okay.
Okay, all three of you start. Yes.
Does a smile, a look, a hopeful word, prayers of love from brother to brother.
What's the nicest way of saying I love you? It may just be a smiling face to give to someone sad. It may be just a look of love when someone feels really bad. It may be a word or two to help someone who's feeling blue. It doesn't matter what it is as long as love is sent from you.
A smile, a look, a hopeful word, prayers of love I give to my brothers. Whenever someone seems to say, I don't love you, go away. Look deep within, for love is there, hiding far below is here. Fear that you don't love him too, but you love him and he loves you. So whenever someone seems to say, I don't love you, go away. Look deep within, for love is here, shining bright forever near.
Don't be fooled by someone angry in words. Listen very carefully for what they are really saying. Is that they are afraid and feel unloved. Their anger is called for help and love. Let us help all our brothers. All we need to do is love them. Who could stay angry when love surrounds him? Whenever someone seems to say, I don't love you, go away. Look deep within, for love is there, hiding far below his fear. Fear that you don't love him too, but you do love him and he loves you. So whenever someone seems to say, I don't love you, go away. Look deep within, for love is here, shining bright forever near.
These children are reading from A Course in Miracles for Children. I
Yeah.
hope we
that
can
part.
find more books like this.
The part that the girls forgot to tell you, yes. The girls are doing readings every Sunday out of the Children's Course in Miracles.
Thank you.
Okay, everybody sit so we can get ready to do circles.
Okay.
I'll take a look.
We had a large group of kids today. I'm very thankful to Rhonda for bringing all these children, and these children are our future. So we're very happy to have them.
And I have announced to the girls, I will announce and the boys, feel free to invite friends, friends as kids. The more we have, the merrier, especially from now through the remainder of the year, because there are several Christmas projects going on. The youth group is doing a Christmas sleigh for Festival of the Trees that they will be donating for that. So the more little hands we have in the classroom on Sunday, the better off all of this is going to go. So feel free to bring grandkids and grandkids' friends, and the more the merrier in that classroom.
In case any of you didn't hear, Rhonda's inviting you to bring more kids, send more kids, invite them from your classrooms, invite them for your from your grandkids, wherever. They have several projects going on. They're doing the sleigh for their Festival of Trees that we're going to put in there. And then starting in December, they'll start decorating our tree, which is up, as you can see. And so please send children. That's our new thing. Would anybody like to do a closing prayer for us? Okay, Frith, you're in. You do the prayer. Thank you.
Amen.
Do you want to come up and do our supper prayer?
Anyway, I would like to thank you all for being here. Thank our Lord for providing us with this wonderful place to meet and be with like-minded souls. And please protect all the people in our world from the ravages of war and from people that think they know better than we do about what we need, and guide us all. Amen. And join me for our closing prayer, our closing circle of music. Oh, and don't forget about Margaret's talk in Aztec on Friday, November 17th. There are papers out there, little flyers out there.
this is the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Yes, there is peace on earth, and yes, it begins with me.
Thank you all, and blessings to everybody. Have a marvelous week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.